natives, the indigenous people,
Yeah.
talk about like GMOs, and or they talk about their crops and the purity, or
What I've noticed a lot is that white middle class Americans almost have a luxury of being environmental protectors or environmental activists.
Mhm.
You can choose to be a part of it or not part of it. But if you're a native person, you're getting hit directly with all of this stuff. They're like the guinea pigs for nuclear radiation or GMOs or whatever you're talking about. Meaning they're like on the front lines of the worst stuff that's happening in terms of what we think of as environmental destruction.
Mhm.
And so they don't have a choice. So they are, they're the kind of the first and the last environmental activists. And, one thing that I'm thinking about or feeling as we're talking is how so important it is to continue to champion them and help them feel like they matter.
Yeah, because they absolutely do.
They completely matter, and they're like us, or just currently up to date. And that's why I was talking about, in terms of, let's say, the majority of people in the U.S. are of European descent, and so so all of those people in Europe were conquered by somebody at some point. And we forget that, when we think, oh, it's basically these bad guys from Europe came over and conquered the U.S. It's like it's just a bad habit that we
Yeah,
humans picked up. Like we're gonna take everything to feed our family, and we're not gonna leave anything for yours.
right, right. And the indigenous people are always sharing.
Sharing, exactly. It's a circle of generosity.
Yes,
It's a give mentality as opposed to a take
that's
mentality.
right. They understand,
Yeah.
to my knowledge, and
Yeah.
see if you agree with this, they understand one thing. The world is abundant. There is no scarcity.
I love it. It's beautiful. Like I get the chills. See, I'm remembering right now. We have this conversation, and you know, I've been brought up uh, deeply embedded in scarcity consciousness, and so it just when you say it, it's like I go, yeah, yeah, that's right. Look around, and it's a very abundant universe. So it's a good thing to remember and to practice, so that it's not just like a good idea. And the thing about this evolutionary momentum, like when you feel like you're a part of it, you just kind of you can look and say that is like, think of what's a really like a technology that just seems so antiquated, like the original steel mills, or the Model T Ford.
Hmm.
Look at like a Model T Ford next to a Prius. Well, it's just, I don't know, what are we going to do? There's a matter of refinement there.
And it's up to us to hone that refinement
Yeah.
and bring it back. We can't not be indigenous. We are indigenous.
Exactly. Exactly. We are indigenous.
you know.
It's not them and us. We're indigenous to land somewhere.
Yes.
And I think the more people who live, this, we're North Americans, we're living here, and so we get to learn how to live on this land, or not.
Yes. Yes. You
Re,
either live or
re,
you perish.
yeah, you learn how to live with the land or you perish. Yeah, I think that that sense of the being part of the evolutionary momentum. You see the difference between whatchamacallit, a Model T and a Prius, and so I think that you were talking about the hunting licenses, and it just is going to seem like this is ridiculous. This
Hmm.
is so stupid. Why do we have prisons? Why do we even need hospitals? And so on and so on and so on. So I think it takes a certain amount of vision to say or to feel like we're not stuck in this forever. we may not see it in our lifetime, but you know, that's what Martin Luther King said. You know, I may not go there with you, but you know, things change. Thank God.
Absolutely. So one last question about the book.
Yeah.
Other than finishing it, what was your favorite part of writing it?
Well, my favorite part of writing it is that the book comes from experiencing this thing called the Wild Earth Intensive, which is the training ground for everything that we've been talking about. Is when we gather together and we say, talk is cheap, let's actually do this thing and feel what it means to live in this native way again. And so it was like the third or fourth of one of these Wild Earth Intensives, and I had been thinking about, I've been toying with different book ideas. You know, it's my early 50s, and I was, you know, hey, you know, I've had a little bit of experience, and I want to share it with people. What's going to be my angle? I came off of 10 days of that intensive. I was totally exhausted. I went to, I tried to just like lie down and just kind of get some rest. And then all of a sudden it was like, boom, the whole outline of the book came to me. Like I knew what it was. So that first moment of inspiration of like, oh, that's what it's going to be. That was so much fun and so exciting. You know, and I think that the rest of it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
So I remember that first part was, you know, I mean, there were certainly inspired parts that came afterwards, but it was like the whole blueprint for the book just kind of descended on me in a couple of hours, and I just started, you know, writing like, I saw it. You know, it's really fun to recall it because now I can remember that download was on the piggybacking the download of my Vision Quest in 1998 in the Southwest.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's like this is great. Thanks for coming, Gary. This is fun. I was getting tired and ready for a nap, and you guys came over, so it's great.
Now, how can people get in touch with you?
They can find me on my website, which is billpfeiffer.org. BILLPFEIFFER.org.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bill.
Right. Pleasure.
This has been great.
Yeah, this is the best part.
Yep.
The hugging.